We should be live now. Let's see. Can I get the link real fast? Can I update? Should be live now. Okay, perfect. Let's make the game just a bit quieter. Get the link real fast. Can I update? Should be live now. Okay, perfect. Okay, looks good. Everything seems to be in working order. Hopefully the bitrate is good enough. Hopefully there is not too much of stutter, any of that kind. But yeah, let's start this. Hey guys, it's TheFrXion or Tiger Tank 12, however you call me. I don't really care. And welcome back to World of Tanks. Another live stream. Well, definitely not the... Let's see. Not the first live stream that we've done, but also not the last, hopefully. And today we're going to be checking out the brand new update 1.14 that was just released about 2 or 3 days ago for World of Tanks. And it's quite interesting that this patch went by me without really a lot of fanfare. I didn't really hear a lot about the patch. I know that it was in the test server for a bit, but I didn't really expect the patch to be launched anytime soon. So it might be a bit surprising because I haven't really announced this live stream, and this live stream is a bit, I'd say, out of the blue. But it doesn't matter if nobody's really watching. This is just going to be a VOD because we're going to be looking at some of the changes in this video as well. So if there's somebody coming into the live stream, maybe that's a nice little thing to have. But at the same time, we're just gonna check out all of the changes that have happened with this patch. And we're gonna start with the Czechoslovakian heavy tank tech tree, where we're also going to be playing some tanks of that sort. We're gonna take a look at the 11th year anniversary presents and gifts. And also we're gonna take a look at the updated or the new mechanic that they've added into the game, which is field modifications. I haven't really looked into field modifications at all, so I have to look into it. I have to understand the system. That's something that will probably take a bit of time to get used to, but hopefully we can understand everything and take a look at the field modifications and what they can do. I think field modifications, I've heard quite a bit of bad things about field modifications, and I'll have to be the judge of that myself. But as I know wargaming, it's probably something that goes into the direction of being very annoying and something that you probably will need to get the most out of your vehicle. And that's probably going to be quite expensive as well. So before we do that though, we're going to just take a look at the garage, and you can see it's 11th anniversary. Once again, they're using the anniversary garage. I think this is supposed to be in Minsk in Belarus, if I'm not mistaken, and it looks very nice on a summer's day somewhere near a river in the capital of Belarus. So let's take a look at the tech tree of the Czechoslovakian nation right here. So the VZ44-1 is the first heavy tank that you can unlock. Then you have the TNH 105 1000, the TNH TVZ51, and the VZ55. Like, the names are really weird. I don't even know what TNH means. Let's take a look. Heavy tank TNH. So it doesn't really have any kind of name to the TNH doesn't really have a meaning, at least I think. There probably is a meaning somewhere. I think all of the tanks will have some kind of origin in, I don't know, certain blueprints, or they're just something that they pulled out of thin air. But either way, we're gonna take a look at that, and afterwards we are going to be taking a look at the field modifications. So Let's take a look at the tier 7. We're going to take a look at the VZ 44-1. Let's preview this vehicle. The very first impression is basically it's a Czechoslovakian medium tank that is just a bit longer, and the size of this thing, it doesn't have a big profile, at least in the terms of height, but it's quite long, so it's going to be taking up a lot of space. This is the not upgraded version, so this is very important that we are taking a look at this vehicle without any kind of upgrades, and then we can take a look at the vehicle once it's fully upgraded. So so it has a 88mm gun, as you can see. 220 millimeters or 220 alpha damage is about the average on 88mm caliber right there. Rate of fire is almost 8 rounds per second. DPM 1721, and dispersion and aim time aren't the best on this vehicle, but it's a stock one, so we'll get to that in a second. This tank has 1,300 hit points, 110 millimeters of frontal armor, 80 on the side, 60 on the rear, 190 on the turret, which is very flat, which is not a very good sign, but 190 millimeters of armor on the turret at tier 7 doesn't sound to be that bad. I think if you compare it to the Tiger one, it's definitely a lot thicker. I think the Tiger one only has 110 millimeters of frontal armor on the turret. That's why you can easily penetrate the Tiger one's frontal armor. So let me just check the Tiger one's armor layout with the upgraded turret. It's 100 millimeters, and it's also very, very blocky, and as you can see, it's a 90-degree angle as well. But 190 millimeters of armor is quite a lot, not too bad. It's a tier 6 turret that you have at the beginning. You get 200 millimeters of armor with the 44-2 turret, and you have 3 different engine types. So I'd say, without further ado, how about we play a couple of games with the VZ 44-1. The thing is, I haven't really played the Skoda T25 in a very, very long time, and probably I should have started grinding the VZ, but I didn't really have the time for it, so I'm just gonna be using some free experience to unlock the vehicle, and I'm gonna buy it. Like 1,480,000 credits sounds like a lot of money, and it actually is a lot of money. Did they actually increase the prices for tier 7 vehicles, or have I not played World of Tanks in a long time to not know the prices anymore? It's probably a combination of both of them. So this is the stock variant. We're probably going to be playing this tank in stock first. If it's that bad, we can obviously still just fully unlock everything. That's why I have so much free experience, because if it turns out to be a very unthankful tank, you can always just get rid of it. And this is one of the times where I actually did, save up my crews to actually have a couple of crew members that are at least a little bit competitive. So we're going to be putting crew members in there that are actually good. So we have Yuri Gagarin. I'm not even sure if he's going to be a commander or not. We're going to take Texas Ranger first, Chuck Norris. We're going to put him into the heavy tank. He's at 44-1. He's going to be the commander. Hopefully the other ones we can select their crew status and their rank, because I would not like to have 4 commanders. So qualification, we're going to be needing a gunner. So he's going to be the gunner. Then we have one more crew member who is Shan Ling. I have no idea if he's from Japan or China, but that's not as important. We're going to designate him as the driver, and Yuri Gagarin is going to be the commander, unfortunately. And Yuri Gagarin is only available for the Soviet Union, which is a bit of a shame if we think about it. But either way, at least we can put in the Texas Ranger, the other guy Barton, and Shan Ling. We still have to find 2 more guys that we can put into those positions, and that's probably going to be a bit more difficult because I haven't really trained a lot of my crews. So let me just check real fast with my garage. See if I can find somebody in the barracks. In all vehicles. Okay. So the problem is that we actually have... She's the commander of the TVP Skoda T50. So what we can do right now is we can take this radio operator, and we can just turn him into a crewman of the VZ 44100. And since the 200 gold is not really worth it for me, just gonna retrain him with 80% skill instead of 100%. And we have to actually reset or change her position, so that's going to suck a little bit. We are still lacking, I think. Let me just put everyone on the tank before we do any kind of different thing. And let me just how do I get to the barracks again? Oh, right there. Let me just get this guy to the barracks, and let me get her to the barracks as well, so we can actually work with either one of them. Okay, so we should have access to him, and we should have access to her as well. She's no loader, so we have to retrain her as a loader. So I'll just have to have access to her real fast, and we're gonna make her our loader on the VZ 44-1. That's gonna cost us 500 gold, but I guess that's still the best option. And then we can field Chuck Norris right in there, and we can retrain her as well. So what do we have? It's a heavy tank, so repairs are going to be quite important. Oh, intuition is actually now a skill that you should train as well. And yeah, probably 37%. We're just gonna go with firefighting. I'm not expecting any of these heavy tanks to have any kind of good stats on concealment and spotting. Yeah, 358 meters view range is not very good. And let's see, so we have, what is our traverse speed on this vehicle? Traverse speed is shocking, so we're gonna increase the traverse speed with clutch braking. We're gonna get some better ground resistance statistics. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go and train his ability to fix the tank as well. So Deadeye as well, yes, we're gonna train that. We're gonna train Snapshot for better turret rotation, and we're gonna train repairs as well. And with Chuck Norris, one of the last things that we're gonna be training on this vehicle is yeah, we can probably push this guy with some skill books as soon as he reaches level 100 or is 100%. But maybe we can already put something on him, the personal training manual, so that we're gonna just use that and get him a bit better trained, so it's gonna be 100%. And what we definitely want on this vehicle is actually repairs. But you know what? Situational awareness is going to be very important as well. So we can gain at least a little bit of view range. Every single meter of view range is going to be important. So we're gonna skill out recon, which is going to be very important. 377 meters view range right now. And the last thing that we're going to be skilling on this is what is the percentage of this training. So it's probably going to be 0%. We're just gonna go with mentor, because that skill comes into effect immediately. So What kind of equipment can we put on this vehicle? Probably we can't put any equipment on it because it doesn't have any real upgrades at the moment. Nothing has been improved yet, so we'll have to be a bit more conservatively. Let's move that over there, get a manual fire extinguisher and a small first aid kit. And that looks like the best version of the tank that we can have at the moment without spending any more free experience to actually get this vehicle fully upgraded. So we're going to add a camouflage on it as well, give it a little bit of a style point, and then we're going to jump right into a battle. I haven't played World of Tanks in about 1 or 2 weeks now. Everything that you might have watched on the channel has been pre-recorded, so that's one of the things that I couldn't really get around because I had a lot of things to do in the meantime. But I really enjoyed the interaction. I really enjoyed the comments that I had gotten, especially on the last 2 or 3 videos. There has been quite a bit of debate going on about Crew 2.0 and also that nostalgia bit that I did with the World of Tanks 2011 video. So either way, we're gonna jump into the battle right now, and we're just gonna see how well it's going to be doing. In stock, I do not have very high hopes, but maybe we can make it work. El Haloof, tier 9 battle. We're fully stocked. This is probably not going to be ending very well for us, but either way, hopefully we can do a little bit of damage and we can maybe get a victory with all of these tier 8s and tier 9 vehicles. Because I don't think we're going to be able to withstand a lot of pressure from the enemy team. They're going to be doing a lot of damage to us. Okay, I was just checking the video quality and the quality is actually quite acceptable, looks quite good. I have a decent ping, 187 milliseconds, but that's something that I always have when I'm playing on the North American server, so yeah, the distance and streaming at the same time probably is not going to help that at all. I think that this VZ77-1 is probably stock as well, because his speed is just as bad as mine. We're barely scratching 20 kilometers at the moment, and yeah, it's a heavy tank, but at least at least I thought it was going to be a bit faster, but it's quite slow, and that's quite a bit annoying. But we already have a Carnarvon Action 10 over there. Quite a long reload time as well on this tank. Remember, this is quite a good crew that we have on this vehicle right now. So the reload time is still about 7.5 seconds. We don't have any equipment on this vehicle yet, so that is probably a very important factor to take into account. Let's see if we can help out here. I think they do have some pretty decent gun depression on this vehicle. I think it was 8 degrees, which is almost the norm now nowadays, but 8 degrees a couple of years ago was definitely not the norm. So let's see if we can just help this T-34/3 out, because we do not want to let him die by severe force right there. If we can support, we're going to support. It's very important. If you're low tier, you have to play the supporting role, and that supporting role you have to take very seriously, because you literally can't do anything on your own. You're always going to be very important. For support, sometimes that means you have to eat a shell from an opponent. Sometimes it means you have to push someone into cover. Sometimes it just means you have to sacrifice your tank for some other players. Don't really understand why he just drove out and conceded that shot. I put another one into him. He seems to not have gotten enough, and I really need to take care of him. Artillery just took a pop shot. Now this is going to be a bit awkward, but we managed to take the cupola, and we knock out an enemy VZ 44-1. And that is definitely going to help us right here. So we can put some pressure on these guys from the side. Hopefully knock out that tier 9. Can't get the gun down. Oh god. What is that gun depression? I might not have enough gun depression on the stock turret, but you know what, I'm gonna go for it. God damn it. That is definitely not 8 degrees of gun depression. That gun? I think we're still gonna win this. We didn't fare too well. I'd say it was an okay game for stock tank. It's really slow. Very, very much so. It's not a lot of fun to play a tank when it's that slow, but I think you can work with it. You can definitely work with it if you look a little bit closer into it. So let's see. I think the gun depression that we have with the stock turret is probably pretty bad. It's 5 degrees, no wonder. I was expecting, like, I thought it had 8 degrees. So with the fully upgraded, sorry about that. With the fully upgraded turret, let's just check real fast. The fully upgraded turret, if we fully upgrade this vehicle, so let's just try it out on the comparison tab down here real fast. Oh no, I can't even, there we go. Compare it to fully upgraded version of the tank. We're gonna use the same gun. We just want to have the turret upgraded. You actually still only have 5 degrees of gun depression, so that is really bad. Didn't the tier 7 have 8 degrees? So does every single tank of this line only have 5 degrees of gun depression? The next vehicle has 7 degrees, but what if we combine this vehicle and have it fully upgraded? Let's take a look at that. So we're gonna put it into it's a comparison, get the new turret, and use the stock gun. It's still 7 degrees. It might be the gun. So what if we change it to the tier 8 gun? It's only 7 degrees as well. At least still it's 7 degrees. That's a lot better than the 5 degrees that we have right now. And tier 8, the tier 9 actually has 7 degrees as well. Let's figure out if it only has 7 degrees with the fully upgraded turret as well. Yeah, it's only 7 degrees. That's not very good. And the tier 10 has probably 8 degrees. Yeah, it has 8 degrees. And it looks like a medium tank, much more than a heavy tank. So, okay. That is quite interesting to see. So that means that... yeah, that means that the... yeah, that the tier 7 and the tier 8 aren't going to be faring too well when you're somewhere with a little hill, because you only have 5 degrees of gun depression, and that is really, really, really bad. Five degrees of gun depression, you can't really work with that. God damn. Hello, Rasmus. Yeah, I'm currently playing the new line. I just unlocked the VZ44-1 and I just played a game in it. It's completely stock. It's really, really slow. And it's a very special kind of tank so far. To be fair, it's nothing special. It doesn't have a lot going for it in the stock configuration. I'm really interested in having a 105mm gun on this vehicle since it's a tier 8 gun. But the DPM on this vehicle is really bad, even with the 88mm gun. It's only 1,770. I think it's a 7.58 second reload time. I think the second gun, the 100mm gun, might have the best DPM and maybe even the best performance, but it does lack quite a bit of penetration. To be fair, I haven't really informed myself a lot about any of these new Czechoslovakian heavy tanks, but they seem to be tanks that don't have a lot of gun depression. Their armor is so far quite interesting since it's nicely angled most of the time. But I also have the feeling that the turrets, especially on quite a few of these vehicles, is going to be a very easy target, especially if you do have a little bit of heat remaining in your tank, because it's quite flat. Most of the turrets are quite flat, and I think you can work with that quite easily. What I also want to check out today is the field modifications that we have. I haven't really checked into the field configurations at all, but I would like to change or get into the field modifications with the King Tiger, and I just want to see what I can do with this new update system or upgrade system. There are levels that we have to increase. I haven't really looked into it at all. I haven't gotten a single clue what it's all about, and I'm just waiting for the VZ44 to come out again so I can play it again, and hopefully I can upgrade the tank a little bit more. I think I am going to win the game because the team was doing quite well when I left, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it comes out again, out of the battle. It's been going on for quite a long time, so it could have just changed around really fast and could be a draw or a defeat even if we have a lot of bad luck. Yeah, I think the VZ44-1. To be fair, the way that Wargaming introduces tanks nowadays into the game, they usually only start them from maybe tier 7 or tier 8. They don't start them from tier 1 all the way to tier 10. I think they will only do that if they add new kind of nations into the game. What Wargaming is doing nowadays is basically just they pick a line. Let's say they go with the heavy tank line on the Soviet tech tree. They give you the KV-1, you go all the way to the KV-1, then you have several branches that go away from the KV-1, and then from the T-150 they might add a tank that might be a new vehicle at tier 7, or maybe what is more commonly on tier 8, so they only have to add 3 new vehicles into the game. So they add the ISM, they add the Object 705 and the 705A. What I've noticed in recent times is that when they do it like that, obviously, like with the IS-2 or the IS-3-2 or the ST-2, these vehicles obviously are very unique because they have 2 cannons and 2 barrels. That's going to be working out quite nicely, so it's very unique, every single tank. But if you look at the Czechoslovakian tech tree, the VZ44 is kind of like a placeholder. I have the feeling I have played this tank already before. So why is that? Because I think the TVP VTU is very similar to it. So the tank is like, it looks very similar, definitely plays differently, yes. But like the looks are very similar. Their playstyle are quite different, definitely. But I don't think it's a very unique tank at all. Maybe the 105 later down the line might just get a bit more interesting, at least from the looks of it. But the tier 9 and the tier 10 have even more stuff going for them because they have this magazine system, which you have on, I think, 2 different guns. Not every single gun, but 2 of them. The other ones are single shotguns, and you also have the option to use the double the magazine kind of gun. I'm not sure if the tier 8 already has that option. Oh, the tier 8 actually has that option as well, so you can do that there. But I don't think that the tier 7 has that mechanic, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of basic in that kind of sense. Unfortunately, we lost that, but we're going to jump into another game with this vehicle, and hopefully we can get some better results with this vehicle, because I don't intend to spend a lot of time with the VZ44-1, and if you do know my channel, you'll know that I don't really do like these line reviews anymore. I don't play a tank and then take everyone or the viewers through the line. With my experience, how I experienced that kind of line, I don't think that is kind of interesting content since everyone has already seen that. But I think at tier 7 this tank can do quite decently, because the turret, even though it is very flat at the front, it has 190mm armor. If you compare it to a Tiger, for example, a Tiger has 100mm and also has that 90-degree angle. It is also angled at the front a little bit. I think it's 110 or 20mm thick as well, so I think you can work with that. It just lacks the speed. It lacks like the speed, even like, I know it's stock, but I think it's not going to be going a lot faster in the fully upgraded version. So I think it's going to be a bit of a pain, especially fully, like in fully stock. But I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, to be fair, like one of the big problems that Wargaming have is that how are they going to go into the future with World of Tanks? Like, what are they going to be doing with the game? Because this game, if they cannot add tanks, what can they do? Because at a certain point, you're going to have added so many tanks that I think people will have more than enough content to play. But it's going to get boring, so people need something to do. They need some new mechanics. They need to shake things up, right? And with all of these changes, what they're going to be doing is that, well, they're going to be introducing things that will probably benefit some players that have, let's say, like infinite resources, which my account probably does have, because of all the premium tanks I own, all the premium time I have, everything combined. I probably have a lot of resources to spend, and they have to add things to make the game, you know, different, to add more things to you know, have a little bit of an evolution. I'm not really sure about the field upgrade system because I haven't used it at all. I haven't watched videos on it, but what I've heard is a lot of negative responses. So I've scoured the forums a little bit just to see what the general tone is, and the general tone is quite negative towards that kind of change. And to be fair, yeah, that's like, I think most of these changes that Wargaming have implemented the last couple of years have been kind of half-assed, have been kind of half-baked, and it's kind of a thing that we have to get used to. That a lot of the systems they add into the game aren't very thought out a lot of the times. So unfortunately right here we have a Panther that is slinging quite a bit of gold towards us. With that kind of pen, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage to us. So we'll have to be a bit more careful right here on this corner. We also have a VZ on the other side and a Karo P88. Oh, my KB3 is right behind me. I don't want to back into him, so I'm gonna just adjust my angle a little bit. I think the main fight is going to be taking part in the city right here. And we're gonna have to see what we can do with this vehicle. Okay, he just smacked me, so that's not very good. This KB3, please. So he missed. There's a KB85 that was just one-shotted by that vehicle right there. I know that the rate of fire on the VZ44 isn't very good. It's a bit better on the upgraded gun, but it's still not very good. There we go, we put another one into him. And the KB2 just one-shotted the Karo P88 behind him. So that's not very nice. But yeah, they went a little bit too far. So I'm not gonna go around the corner right now. That Panther in the back is a bit too annoying for my taste. But I'm going to try and hit him once or twice. I don't want to use this KB3 for cover too much, but I'm gonna see if I can just support him with my fire. Unfortunately, he bumped into me and I completely whacked that shot. But it's time for us to move up. It definitely is time for us to move up and clear out the rest in the city. I think most of the enemies are probably going to be somewhere on the 1-2 line, and we'll just have to handle them in time. Sorry, like every single time I'm streaming, I have to kind of work with a system where I can read the comments and where I can play the game as well. So let me just open my phone real fast, open the YouTube app, and at least have access to the comments so I can answer you guys. Sorry, it's my gameplay and driving is not very good when I'm streaming, and that's unfortunately because I'm always like looking at two things, and I'm incredibly bad at multitasking. So, hello Johnny, welcome to the stream. You went to tier 9 immediately. So yeah, obviously if you've played this game for a bit and maybe you've been a paying customer, somebody who has bought like premium tanks or premium time, I think a lot of us have gotten a lot of blueprints and free XP as well. I think I understand why a lot of people will immediately go for, you know, the tier 9 or maybe the tier 8. I've only just gotten the tier 7 unlocked, and to be fair, I want to try out this entire line, so I didn't really want to skip ahead. But as you can see, I'm not running any equipment on this vehicle, and the aim time is pretty bad. Everything feels a bit sluggish, even though my crew is pretty decent. But yeah, I think you just have to get used to it when you're playing a stock vehicle after so long. I haven't really played stock tanks in like ages. I haven't played stock tanks in probably over a year, so just have to get used to being slow and not competitive at least. So you uninstalled World of Tanks. You have no idea how many times I uninstalled World of Tanks and then I reinstalled it again. What is really important when you're playing World of Tanks is just you have to have some time for yourself. Like sometimes you just have to take a break. Like don't exhaust yourself when you're playing World of Tanks. This game, like no game is worth exhausting yourself over. Just take your time. If you have a bad day, do not play to the ultimate end where you hate the game for it. just play until play as long as you have fun, and if you don't have any more fun, just kind of skip the game and take a break from it, because it's not really worth it. Yeah, like I once drove into several tank destroyers because I was watching a YouTube video at the same time, and that definitely didn't work out in my favor, and that was not very nice. But yeah, I think the tier 9 is probably going to be quite competitive. That's usually the case. Usually the case is that the tier 9s and the tier 10s are balanced quite nicely, especially the tier 9. I think tier 9 is the sweet spot for playing World of Tanks if you want to have a good time and you want to have it a little bit more competitive, and you don't want to get into the mess that tier 8 is currently. You know, tier 9 is ideal. The only thing that can go up is tier 10, and you don't have to worry about tier 11, so you're always going to be somehow competitive, because a tier 9 vehicle is, let's say, a vehicle at tier 10, but just with 75% of the combat capacity that the tier 10 vehicle has. And I think you can do quite nicely with the tier 9. Most of the time, I think the tier 9s are the best placed tanks in the game, and probably the one place where you can have a lot of fun in if you want to have a bit more of a competitive scene. And I think tier 7, tier 6 is also like the tier where you can have a lot of fun, where you don't really have to think a lot. I think tier 7 is also very nicely balanced, but I think just tier 9 is that sweet spot that you just don't have at tier 8, or even sometimes in tier 7 when you get upgraded to, you know, tier 9 matches. You already have all the tanks. You know, the thing is, if we go through my collection right now, like, I have all the tanks that I want to have at the moment. Artillery is something that I'm not really interested in, so I just kind of free experience my way through artillery, or I used all my blueprints, and currently the GW E100 is the last German tank I have to unlock. Americans, I have everything unlocked. With the Soviets, the same. The British, I have everything unlocked except for the Conqueror GC. I have to buy them, so I'm not really interested in getting them as anytime soon. With the French tanks as well. The Czechoslovakian, this is going to be the next line that is probably going to be the most interesting as well. The only thing that I'm missing is the Type 5 Heavy, but I've had such a bad time in the Type 4 Heavy that I don't really want to touch the Type 5 at all. The Chinese tank destroyers are something that I have to get to as well. I haven't bought any of the Chinese tier 10s yet, but other than that, I think I'm almost done with the game. Like, I have to buy a couple tier 10s, but also have to get the Rhinoceronte. There's still a couple of things I have to address, but I think I have done a lot of things in World of Tanks. I think I've seen quite a lot of the game in 38,000 battles, but still, it's nice to see new content added into the game. So I'm not going to be one of those guys that is, you know, going to be complaining about new content at all. I'm enjoying everything I can. Hopefully Wargaming get their head back into the game and they abandon any idea of Crew 2.0, but we'll just have to see. So I'm currently thinking of getting some equipment on this vehicle to make it a bit more competitive, but maybe I'll just wait until I get some more upgrades on this vehicle. So I'm just gonna jump into one more game and see how well we can do in this one. The Amex ELC, that is one hell of a tank. I remember back in the days when the ELC was added into the game and everyone was just running around with that 90mm gun at tier 5. That was good times, yeah. Those were the good times in World Tanks, where everyone just really, really enjoyed that ELC. Really cool tank, and I think really, really well balanced as well. At the beginning, the ELC was a bit overpowered, but I think given with the time and a couple of patches, they did get the ELC in the right kind of moment. I think one of the things that probably is the biggest problem for the ELC is the lack of what was it? The lack of arc, the lack of gun arc that you have with it. Like, what is it? Maybe 90 degrees or maybe a little bit more, where you can actually just shoot in front of you. So you always have to turn your tank and play it a bit like a tank destroyer. Yeah, very, very fun tank. Definitely one of my favorites as well. I haven't played it in years though, so I maybe have to get back into that. I just always feel very bad when I go back to tier 5, because when I play tier 5, I just have the feeling that like everyone else that is new to the game has such a disadvantage to me, where I'm running into the game with fully upgraded tanks, maybe premium vehicles as well, and they just look like, you know, lost little kids that just want to have a good time in a world of tanks, and you know, the big brother comes in and just stomps everyone. And yeah, I've kind of avoided lower tiers because of that reason, so maybe I have to go back into it though. Put one into the VZ. Haven't really been able to test out the armor yet. Had a bit too much gold spam in the first 2 rounds that I played this tank, but I think you can work with this tank. I mean, I am complaining about the speed and the mobility, the general mobility of this vehicle. I think that mobility is just a very important part of the game nowadays, but I think the armor doesn't seem to be that bad. Like, generally speaking, the stats don't seem to be that horrible. It does have a weak spot. Wargaming have added a weak spot to this vehicle at least. It has very, very bad gun depression. That is definitely the case. This guy is going to poke again. To peek. There we go. We tracked him. Hopefully he can repair. He puts one into our cupola probably. That is very awkward right now. Can't even track him right there. But either way, I think you can probably just work with that HP. Like 1,300 in stock seems to be quite nice. Maybe you'll get some more when you have the fully upgraded turret, but it could be the case that this is a tank that doesn't get a fully doesn't get an HP upgrade with the new turret. Looks like our team has just steamrolled them in the south, and now we're going to be able to clean them up from here and get to their cap. Yeah, what? Like, I think one of the things a lot of players are complaining about is the one-sidedness of games that we have. This game took me about 4 minutes, not even 4 minutes. This game was decided in about, I'd say, 3 minutes tops. And I think that's just something that Wargaming never really has gotten the hang of. Like, they never really addressed that huge problem of you know, different skill types, and also matchmaking, where you have to take into account that certain tanks have a lot better armor or maybe better mobility than others. And it's a bit sad to see that a lot of games are so one-sided in the last couple of years. Yeah, the ELC with tier 8s, that was a very good time. As long as you were hidden from them, but as soon as they spotted you, the ELC died like a fly. You died so freaking fast. That was just something that I didn't really enjoy. But at the same time, when you're able to fight all of these vehicles that are like 2 or 3 tiers higher, and you actually defeat a tank that is 2 or 3 tiers higher than you, that is like, let's say 3 or 4 tiers, you really felt like a boss. That was... Ah, damn, I just missed the artillery. I remember when we were fighting mouse tanks with Shermans. When a tier 5 Sherman was able to meet a mouse in a tier 10 match, where you had 2 KV5s where you had one KV1, where you had really, really weird combinations of somebody gets 2 artillery pieces, the other team gets not a single artillery piece at all. Like all of these, all of these things are thankfully history, but like all of these games were actually quite interesting. Wait, so did they really add the protection for these players? Because that is something that they should have added years ago. I remember when people were playing this game and they went into tier 2 with the where is it? The German PZ2C or something like that. Let me see if I have it in my garage. That was the worst tank to ever have been in this game. I don't think I own it because I never bought it, because Wargaming, yeah, they only sold it in like these really crazy bundles where you had to pay like $150 to get the tank and maybe 25,000 gold. But that was the worst tank ever. How that thing was not, you couldn't penetrate it, but it could penetrate you with the premium shells. And it was the most annoying thing in tier 2. And what they also had, I remember, wait, let me see. What is the worst thing at tier 3? I remember at tier 3, there's also the French, no, it's at tier 4. At tier 4, there's this French tank, that Panzerkampfwagen B2 740F. This tank sometimes gets into tier 2 matches, right? Into tier 2 and tier 3 matches. Nothing can penetrate this tank from the front at tier 2 and tier 3, I think. At least back in the days. I remember playing against this vehicle and it was just, it was so annoying. I think nowadays you have a couple of tanks that can probably deal with this frontally. For example, this tank destroyer at tier 4, which does have enough pen with APCR. But yeah, those crazy games. I'm very thankful that I don't have to play the lower tiers anymore, but at the same time, I have to be honest, the lower tiers were so much fun sometimes, because it was total mayhem. Like this tank also, this is a tank that I think a lot of people back in the days were really excited about, but because it was kind of unique. But it's so bad. Look at this tank. It has like 14 millimeters of armor. Like it does have 570 hit points at tier 3, but like you're gonna meet certain tanks that are just going to. Oh wait. No. Okay, this is not the premium one. So I just thought I actually owned that thing, but this is not the premium one. You know what? I really want to play lower tiers right now, but I do not want to go below tier 4. And I really haven't played this Panzer SFL 1C at all. Haven't really given a shot yet, as they've given that to us. And also I haven't played the new T-34 1941. Like this is the very first iteration of the T-34 that they have added into or like that they rode into battle with. Very interesting one. Yeah, like when there wasn't any physics, you were just able to cling to a ridgeline, and if you didn't have any kind of gun depression, well, it didn't really matter because you just had to have gun elevation. And I remember there were certain times where at Amex 50B, because the Amex 50 series doesn't have any good kind of gun elevation. I remember when this tank with the very bad gun elevation it had, people would try to go over like a ridgeline and they couldn't aim up because the gun elevation was that bad. Those were really fun days, especially at tier 10. Like really crazy things going on, people trying out crazy stuff. And now you have like all these crazy physics, and you can flip everyone around. You can flip a mouse if you have enough speed and enough mass to do that. Yeah, I would never pay 100,000 credits per game just to be able to clap some seals. That's really not something that I can ever get really get on with. I just think that's nothing for me. I think It's just one of the things that really drives away the players from the game, and that's not something I wanna be part of. But you know what? This is a really great tank. I remember when they sold this one. This is the T28 F30, and it is actually quite unique because it has an 85mm gun. And an 85mm gun, obviously, you expect quite nice alpha, and they had to tone it down a bit, but it has 160 alpha. I've played it a couple of times, but I don't have any equipment on it as well. I think they gave it out with probably loot boxes or something like that. But you know what? I feel like playing this tank. I have a horrible crew on this one, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. I think low tiers, the crew system is not really that important at all. But this is going to be the very first low tier game I had in like ages. Probably, I don't even know. It must have been at least 1 or 2 years. Yeah, I've actually read about that with the novice status, and you know, being able to go into the regular player pool. I just completely forgot about the introduction and when they added it into the game. But it's a good thing. I think they should have done that years ago, and it might just be a bit too late to add that, but at least it's here. Better now than never, right? So at least we have that. So okay. This is very special. So it seems to me that we're gonna have a massive T-34 battle in the valley. You know what? We're gonna join that valley fight because we have a Zerg rush, a very good old StarCraft 2 Zerg rush on the enemy team. Everyone is going into the valley, and I'm expecting at least 10 enemy T-34s in that valley as well. You know what? So we're just gonna go in there. The thing is, we have this massive advantage, these T-34s. We have a 85mm gun that is going to be able to cut through that kind of armor with ease. So we just have to get into some good positions where we can shoot these guys. But yeah, if they're not gonna peek, we're not gonna be able to engage them at all. Okay, let's see if this guy is showing himself. Nope. This is so absurd. This is so absurd. Yeah, like the dispersion is horrible. I know the dispersion is a catastrophe of itself. But imagine having 160mm of pen at tier 4. Like, that is insane. Like, with gold I have 161mm of pen. Oh no, it's actually 120mm of pen. Okay, I must have misread. But still, 160mm of pen at tier 4. Look at that! I just hit him for 165 with that big shot. So we're gonna breach these guys. I don't care. We're gonna breach them right now because I don't think my team doesn't care. We just don't care. You know what? We're gonna take out this T-34 over here. Take him out of the game. And now we're gonna fall back a little bit. And we're gonna punish this guy right through the turret if he shows himself again. 134. Disappointing low roll right there. But we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him another time. 158. We have to be a bit more careful with our HP though, so we don't get annihilated very quickly. But we're gonna go up this hill real fast. See if we can put some pressure on that T-34 over there and the other one. Oh no! You can't get up there. Oh, that's really dumb. I've maneuvered myself into a really stupid position right now. The thing is, I don't really play a lot of games in the valley. I almost never play in the valley with this on this map, so I kind of have to be a bit more careful. Oh, we actually bounced the T-34, so so much for 120mm of pen. but that one is not going to be bouncing. That guy must be shitting his pants right now. Getting hit for that much damage. Somebody needs to push right through here. Like these guys are too scared. Somebody needs to do it. We're ready to wreck these T-34s one by one. But I need the support. You can't just let me go ahead all by myself, because I'm gonna get RD'd in a second, and this T-34 over here is going to probably hit me. Let's see if I can knock out this T-34 over here. Okay, we knock out the T-34. No, don't go in front. You don't have a lot of HP. He's using HE. I feel really bad. I don't know if these guys are players. Oh no, that was a hard miss. I don't know if these guys are players or if they are bots. But that one really hurt. That was an AP shell. But yeah, look at my damage. I've dealt 1,331 damage with this tank, and no real competition. 210 damage. Oh my god! You know what? We're gonna load some high explosive for this artillery piece. It does have 43 millimeters of pen, so we can probably work with that as well. You've got this tank fully spec'd out, Johnny. Like, I don't know if I can fully spec this tank out. I think it would be probably one of the best low tier premium tanks, I think. But I'm not really sure if I want to do that. I would feel a bit too dirty going up against new players with a tank like this. Probably would not end very well. Capping. These new players all cap. Nobody capped back in 2011. Oh, what a shot. Just knocked out the T-34. Oh, let's go. Yeah, hey, what's up, BM? The T-34 1941 is the brand new reward tank, which is the 11th anniversary present that we are getting. No, I just wanted to hit him. I'm not sure if I would have been able to penetrate the armor, because I think the T-34 has a bit more armor than 40 millimeters at the front. So if I have a very good roll with RNG, I might pen him with that 43 millimeters of pen that we have. But not really sure. So this is the reward tank that I think everyone is getting, and it has 45 millimeters of frontal armor. I think, yeah, it would have been a 50-50 then, maybe, if we would be able to pen or not. Like, if you log into World of Tanks right now, there is actually an event going on, which is the 11th anniversary event, and this time around they're just handing out gifts for tickets, and you receive these tickets by logging in every single day. I think it's going to be lasting for 11 days, and you're going to be able to get 3,000 bonds, which is something I highly recommend everyone picking up, and also 1.1 million credits. Those two gifts are really good. Also getting a universal manual is quite nice as well. A day of premium for anyone that is interested. That's also quite nice. And you also have Brothers in Arms, the perk that you, a crew member with the perk, Brothers in Arms. So that's something that you can look forward to if you haven't logged in. So log in. You don't really have to play the game. You just have to log in, I think, every single day until the 21st or the 22nd of August, and you will be able to receive a couple of things. So, you know, whenever Wargaming gives you free shit, just take the free shit and don't give them a single buck. So what is currently happening right now is that they've released the Czechoslovakian heavy tanks, and they've also released the premium one. And I wanted to talk about the premium tier 8 Czechoslovakian heavy tank, because it has something that I am not very fond of, and I just want to talk about that real quick. So it is the Skoda T56, And obviously it's going to be a lot better than the tier 8 counterpart. I think Quickie Baby already pointed that out in his video. But this tank, like this is a very interesting thing. This is a tank that at tier 8 has a 130mm gun. This is not a tank destroyer, this is a heavy tank. And the 130mm gun has an alpha of 460. 460 alpha damage with this tank. 460 alpha. That is crazy. Like tier 8, I remember tier 8 heavy tanks having 290 or 320 alpha damage. I think the T-32 had 320 alpha damage with its 105mm gun for a very long time. And I think this is like the area where the tier 8s have, you know, the 320 alpha damage max. Maybe for 120mm gun, maybe it's 390, but no more than that. This is crazy. Wargaming are just adding more tanks into the fray that have alpha damage of over 400. So like think about this. This tank, I have not played it. I don't know how good it is, but it has 460 alpha damage. It has a clip of 2 rounds, or a magazine with 2 shells, and combine that together, and you do 920 damage, like with the alpha. 920 in 2 shots. Like I know the Burasque, like the Burasque was quite brutal as well at tier 8. Like I think it was 360 for a single shot, like the alpha on that gun. But 460 is crazy. I'm not sure if the tier 8 counterpart has a 130mm gun, but it obviously does not have. As you can see, the tier 8 non-premium has no 120 or 30mm gun. It has a 105mm gun, and it's not with a magazine loading system, but one of them does have it. And the alpha is 320, how things should be. And the alpha on that is also 320. And the premium one has an alpha of 460. That is crazy. I haven't played tier 8 yet, but I think if we play tier 8, it's going to be very nasty playing against that thing. Yeah, I think the T-34 1941 is probably a bad A-32. I mean, it looks like a bad T-34 already, but yeah, I mean, it's the very first T-34. It's the one that they had in 1941. I think there were other T-34s probably before that. I think they developed it before 1941, but still, this is like the very first mass-produced version, I think, with the 76mm gun, which is not very capable even in the game. It's not very capable. Yeah, Crew 2.0 is just going to be a massive fuck up with the entire thing. It's not going to be working out very well, I can already say that much. One thing I wanted to try out real fast was actually the T-34, because with patch 1.40, or I think it's 1.4, this tank actually has gotten a little bit of a buff, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it's the T-34, but I know that the CDC has gotten a buff, and the T-34 might have gotten a buff as well. So I want to try out the T-34 at least once. This is the old school heavy tank that used to have the highest alpha damage of any tier 8 premium heavy tanks in the game. And I think it has just been the T-34. Anyone who buys the T-34 nowadays is just having a really bad time. Like, there are so many tanks that you can rather buy that are just much better than the T-34, and this thing, I'm not sure if the buffs are gonna help out at all, but I'm just gonna see if it's going to be any good at all, because this tank has, I think it deserves a place in, like, I think it has a place in the heart of a lot of fans of American tanks in World of Tanks. And it's just such a shame that it cannot be as competitive anymore as other tanks, not because the T-34 is bad, no, it's because other tanks have gotten so good that the T-34 is just no longer a viable option. So this is the premium right here. I'm not I'm not sure about the speed, but it's probably maybe 45 kilometers, maybe a bit more. But yeah, the T-34, it definitely has fallen quite a few feet down below after they released some other tanks into the game. So there's our first target. We're gonna go to the window. Hopefully the window is going to be just high enough so we have a bit of cover. And let's see if we can actually hit the IS-3 if he decides to peek right there. Sorry guys, like I'm really bad at multitasking, so I'm gonna answer all your comments, or I'm gonna respond to your comments in just a second. I just really need to focus right here. I think I can hit a pixel shot. Is there any weak spot on this tank? That's really awkward right there. There's a pixel. That's basically how you play World of Tanks. You have a dream of being able to pen somebody and to hit that single pixel shot, and that dream usually stays a dream, but sometimes it does become a bit more. So let's see. I think that's something is definitely in that bush over there. Object force. the good old accuracy of 0.34 or something like that, or maybe worse. That's the dream right there. Maybe we can hit that LTTB if we move a little bit over them, over here. There's a bunker over there. He just spotted me as well. Oh, actually I have a huge problem over here. Oh no, I don't like this at all. So we have an IS-3. Is he going to come to the window? Hello there. Hello IS-3. How are you doing? I think it's really cool that we have so many different T-34 variants in the game. It just shows you like what kind of an amazing platform it actually is. Did I just bounce that screen? And look at that, he hit me for 465, which is about his alpha. And that really hurt. That's not something you want to have happen every single time. But you know what, I don't care, I'm a T-34. I'm gonna take you out of the game. And you're gonna have a really, really bad time. And the IS-3 is going to have a bad time as well. Put another one into him and take care of him. There's a Progetto 46 behind us. There's another Skoda T56. We have a Progetto 54 behind us that can hopefully deal with the Progetto 46. And we can push through here now and help with that T56. Oh, I don't want to be the last one pushing over here. It's going to be really awkward. Because we have to make a play. We're losing our field at this moment, and we just really have to do something. You're all scared, okay? You know what? This is a moment for the T-34, because the T-34 has turret armor. What you guys don't have. I have turret armor. You know what? I'm gonna be a really annoying little bitch in front of you. And now I'm going to punish you. And let's go. Take him out. He has no more rounds. There we go. Finished him off. Look at this tank. T-34 going strong again. What is the alpha of the T-34? 400. That used to be the highest alpha you would get on any kind of tank. Oh boy. Let's see. We can work with this. Be careful with that. Ah no, the snapshots don't work anymore. Oh no. I don't want to expose myself too much because I know there are two tank destroyers sitting right there. Oh no, I'm lagging. And the chances are very high that I will get annihilated in seconds if I peek out too much. So I'm just waiting for my team to actually peek around the corner and spot these guys. And oh, there we go. It's my moment to shine. Okay, he's behind the building. You know what? We're gonna push him because the T-34 is not scared of tank destroyers that have alpha of 650 or maybe 750. We don't care about that. We just care about our damage. And this huge turret is going to be not saving us this time. Yeah, I was maybe a bit too aggressive. So I have some time to read your comments, so we're just gonna keep this game on and read your comments. Yeah, Wargaming wants some more money. That's definitely their main goal at the moment, and it's very sad to see that they have sold their soul out for more dollars that they can ever count in their life, because they've made so much money with this game. It's actually a bit sad that they're still this greedy nowadays. Yeah, it could be that the roof overmatch has been reworked on the T-34. I know that they worked on something with the armor. If this tank can go hull down, the T-34 is still a very, very dangerous vehicle. It's just one of those things that, like, there are a lot of tanks out there nowadays that have very, very good hull down capacity, but at the same time they're also really good without any kind of protection in front of them because the armor layout is already very good. So, for example, I think certain tanks like, you know, the Defender or I think even the Löwe, these tanks are going to be doing a lot better than the T-34 because I think they have all the necessary attributes that the T-34 has, but they also add some more armor on their frontal hull, and I think that's something that is quite important. I think the current meta of World of Tanks is just having armor and mobility. If you have armor and mobility, you're going to be able to do everything in this game because you can just basically, you know, control every single kind of avenue. That's why Soviet tanks are so liked, because they combine that mobility with that crazy armor and even some kind of decent gun at least. But usually the guns on the Soviet tanks were a bit worse. That's why, like, the IS-7 had, you know, a lot of people were kind of upset that the IS-7 only had APCR instead of heat. That's why the IS-4 was like that very special kind of tank, because it had the heat gun of the T-10 or the IS-8 back in the days. And that's very special. And when they released the Object 260, which I also do have in my garage, which is basically the one tank that has both things combined from both worlds, from the IS-7 and from the IS-4, you have a very special kind of tank that is very powerful, at least used to be very powerful until they added the Object 279E or any other kind of vehicles. So yeah, we've gone through some changes in the last couple of years, and I would say a lot of times probably for the worse and not for the better. So what I really am interested in is the improvements that they have made to the CDC. The CDC is a very fast tank. If I would add some different equipment on this vehicle right now, like the turbocharger, this tank could be probably very competitive if you can stay away from harm's way. You know what? We're just going to do that. We're gonna buy a turbocharger, even though I'm completely broke right now. We're gonna go for the turbocharger, and we're gonna see how fast and how good the CDC can be. What they actually did is they decreased the dispersion and they decreased the aim time. Dispersion wasn't actually too bad before they buffed this tank, but what I kind of had the feeling was that the dispersion values weren't correct, because at longer distances this tank was firing all over the place. I mean, the DPM is really good, 2,442, that's with premium consumable as well, and with some equipment and a pretty good crew. but I think you can work with this tank. So this is really sad because I think the CDC was a really interesting tank, but you know, one of the biggest issues with the CDC was always its lack of armor. So with high explosive shells, artillery loved the CDC. It's a big target and it's very easy to take care of. But you know what? Maybe the CDC is coming back as a niche tank. Because I mean, I have 2 marks of excellence on this vehicle, and to be fair, wasn't that difficult to get 2 marks of excellence on it, because I don't think a lot of people are very interested in the CDC anymore. Yeah, I've known quite a few people who had the T-34 as their favorite tank. I think it's one of my favorite tanks, one of my favorite premium tanks, definitely of all time. I owned the T-34 when it was a tier 9 heavy tank, and it was god awful. Imagine having a T-34 that has 105mm or a 90mm gun, and that T-34 like had no mobility at all. It had no armor. It was so bad. It was no fun at all to play. It was it was exhausting and it was tiring, and I think it was probably their best decision to make the T-34 a premium and to give it out to everyone who had already grinded out the heavy tank line. The T-30 like used to be one of my favorite heavy tanks when it was tier 10 one, because it had that 155mm gun. Back then, that was a very special kind of feature. That's something that only tier 9 tank destroyers had, like the Object 704 or I don't even know, the what was the German one, the Yak Tiger with a 128mm gun. Those calibers were really special, but that was never the case anymore afterwards. And I think nowadays, like 155mm, yeah, that's about the average that you have on quite a few tier 10 tanks, even heavies. I mean, probably some medium tanks are getting close to that. As you can see, the accuracy is still kind of pretty horrible. We have a fully aimed in reticle. Sometimes the shot goes all over the place. But I'm playing a bit more cautiously, so don't judge me too harshly. I've had one too many games where I was eliminated immediately out of the equation, and that was definitely not a lot of fun when I was playing this tank, because it can happen really fast. Once you get spotted, you can really get eliminated in like seconds. I want to see if I can get this STA1 just once. Come on, move forward. That should have been a pen, probably. Hopefully. Oh, nice shot right there on the Emil. I did hesitate a little bit, but the thing that we can do right now, because we have covered the left flank, is we can now put some more pressure on these guys through the middle. Now if the Tiger 2 and that TNH put some pressure on them through the middle, we can actually flank them from the other side. But I don't even think we have to flank them. There's a STA1 here with a cheeky idea of going behind these guys, but he's not gonna have a good time. Oh boy. Hey, hello there. Can I help you? And goodbye. Not a very good game in the CDC. I probably could have been a bit more aggressive with this tank, but hopefully we can get some more damage out of this match right now. Our team has been rolling them quite effectively this second. Okay, there's the Kampfpanzer. Ah, we only tracked them. Oh, okay. I see what I did there. Oh no. I kind of messed up. I wanted more damage, but I'm kind of messing up. Where is he trying to run? No. There we go. One more shot. Oh, we have a bit of a problem right here. Never mind. The problem has been solved by some assistance. Oh, the CDC. What a tank. Yeah, I also remember there were quite a few Unicums back in the days that used to play the CDC. But the CDC, it's just one of those tanks that hasn't fared very well, hasn't stood the test of time, not even close. That was a bit of a bad game. I didn't put myself out there too much. But I haven't played the CDC in a while as well, so... What I really want to test out is the Type 59, because they actually buffed the T34/3, and they buffed the Type 59, so I'm going to set this as a primary, because I know that the T34-3 is a primary. And we're going to try out the T34 in just a second. I want to try out the Type 59, because that thing, this used to be the biggest, the baddest, the best tank you could have at tier 8 as a premium tank. And the Type 59, probably nobody will talk about the Type 59 nowadays anymore, because this tank is just, it's not as good as the new vehicles. So yeah, Type 59 never going to be back in the realm of Ultimate Legend. Oh, this is the new map actually. Oh. This is the new map. I have no idea how we can play this new map. It is symmetrical, so it's basically just a mirrored map, like quite a few of them. But let's see what we can do. Yeah, Amex, CDC, and the Type 59 back in the days, they used to dominate tier 8 very, very much so. I think the only thing that was also readily available in numbers back then was the Super Pershing. I remember when they released the Super Pershing, and when the Super Pershing was just a tank that destroyed everyone when it came out first. I'm not sure if I'm getting things mixed up, but I remember the Super Pershing was at one point really, really bad. Like, everyone could cut through that armor with ease. Like, it was so funny. Anyone could just shoot at that Super Pershing and pen it. And then they added some armor on it, and nobody could pen the Super Pershing anymore. So the thing is, what ended up happening was that in the end, I never was able to beat the Super Pershing with standard ammunition, and I had to find a solution to that problem, because everyone bought the Super Pershing when it was really, really good. And what you had to do was, the cupola, or actually, like, there was a part of the turret at the front of the Super Pershing. We can take a look at it afterwards in the garage. There was a part of the turret that was very easily penetrated, and it was the only part where you could really go through every single time. And I remember that up until this day now, even if I'm in a super crazy tier 9 or tier 10 tank destroyer with a lot of penetration, what I end up doing is just, I straight up go for that weak spot every single time, although the Super Pershing has been kind of buffed, nerfed and stabilized. And it certainly is a tank now that I think you can play with ease, that isn't going to be any kind of issue. It's going to be a tank that you will get the job done, but is nothing too special anymore. The Type 59, on the other hand, is a very special kind of vehicle. Definitely in my heart, this is a tank that I wanted to get for so long, and I was just never able to get back then. And yeah, very special tank, definitely. So we're gonna sneak up on this Kunzepanzer. I just want to get one shot into him, and then I can back off again, because I really like annoying tier 9 vehicles in tier 8s, or just, you know, have low tier tanks go up against higher tier opponents and do some damage. There's the M46 pattern. That pattern is a bit of an issue for me. There's also a Rheinmetall Borsig behind him, so we'll have to deal with both of these opponents. Oh, there's another problem, a G-Sor. I have to move up because I can't have this G-Sor firing at me, so I have to be in this little dip where, well, artillery took a liking to me, but I think we can still work with it. This Kunzepanzer is going to make a move again. We put one into him, he misses. And now we're in a very awkward predicament because we are very much out in the open. And what we actually have to do is we have to fall back. We have to fall back. Okay. Get your legs into your hands and just run. Sometimes the best tactic is to run away, even if you want to push. You just have to run away sometimes. And what we're going to be doing now is this is what I call a pro gamer move. We're going to be a very annoying little nuisance in the middle now, because I think you can now just turn over here and go into the tunnel system. This tunnel system is new to World of Tanks. I don't think any World of Tanks map had a tunnel system. I think on the standard game mode, I think only on Frontlines you actually had a non-tunnel tunnel system. Oh god, no. I'm not ready for a T-54 E1. T-54 E1 is going to rip me a new one. So we're just gonna fall back here a little bit. Have his low plate to us. Yeah, that's all good. And yes. Is he reloading? I think he's reloading. Oh no. This is a very bad idea. We're gonna fall back. I hope we aren't spotted anymore, because we just got handed out a free ticket right there, because that Rheinmetall Borsig could have just ended our life right there. If our team manages to spot him, because these guys are all full HP still, like they haven't moved an inch since they started the battle, they can put some real pressure on the RHM. That's a very important thing that they have to do right now, because if we do not put some pressure on the weak side that they have, we're going to lose this game. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some pressure on this 122 TM. Get behind that cover. Okay. He is blissfully unaware of his predicament, and we're just gonna knock him out real fast. Oh no! I can't actually pen this guy from the front. I can't pen him. I just fucked it up. But I have a better reload time than he has. I have to. That was really bad. I've got to be honest. That was really bad. If artillery gets a pop shot at me, I'm going to be toast. I have to finish this guy off. He has to make a bad move. I'm not sure how much gun depression the 122 TM has, but he has to make a bad move. Oh, come on. That was very predictable of me. And he managed to pick me off. Yeah, that was a bit of a bad move. I think the issue was that our team on the other side over there, they held off with pushing for so long. The thing is, maybe I should have returned over there, put some pressure on them, like on the RHM when they were over there, so we could have just moved around. But at the same time, I thought that these guys really needed some help. So I thought that I could actually do something about that. I do not have the best gun depression, so I wasn't able to just shoot this 122 TM from behind. His platoon mate got me really bad right there, and that was the end of me. So, boah, that was unfortunate. Yeah, the super Pershing, like, let's take a look at the super Pershing real fast. Where is the super Pershing? Is it not? It should be, yes, definitely. I always have my old school tanks I have checked with a primary label. Right here, like there, this is the spot where you can always pen the super Pershing. Like right there. That is like basically the weakest part of the armor on this vehicle. Nowadays you can go through basically every other part, and I think one of those things is just you can pretty much go through anything if you have a little bit of an angle right here. But I still think the Super Pershing is such a cool design. It's such a cool tank. It's such a cool idea. Especially like when it was first introduced, it made people panic so much because they didn't know what to do. They looked at this tank, they shot at it, they bounced off of it, and they were like, what? The lower plate is right there. Why can't I go through it? The lower plate should be a weak spot. But the lower plate on this vehicle, right, with the way it's angled and also with its thickness, unfortunately I don't have any mod installed right now. I can't show you guys that. That lower plate is really, really tough. But yeah, that part right there, that's where I always shoot. T26 Super Pershing, that's a very easy way to end any kind of fun for the T26. Very cool tank, definitely a tank I've enjoyed quite a lot of games in. But yeah, where was I? I wanted to try out another tank that was buffed. Let me just see it real fast. There has to be a little update post on patch 1.4 because I want to see which vehicles were buffed. Or do you guys know that out of your head? Because I think some tanks were certainly buffed at tier 8, some other premiums, but I don't really recall exactly which ones it was. Oh, do you know which tank actually got like buffed? The Chimera. What? They Wargaming actually buffed the Object 279E. they actually buffed the 279E. That is really, really sad. they buffed the 279E. They buffed the Chimera, which I think is okay, but the Chimera, I think the Chimera back in the day, like, it's a fine tank. The Chimera is a very special tank. Let's take a look at the Chimera. You know what? If they've already buffed the Chimera, we can just take out the Chimera for a spin. This is a tank that is really, really cool. Like, having high alpha or big alpha is something that is only recently very new. Back then, like, high alpha is something that wasn't really a very big part of the game, and especially at tier 8 there were only a select few tanks with high alpha. But the crazy part is that with the Chimera, this is also a war tank. The Chimera had 440 alpha with, I'm not even sure what the caliber of this gun is. It's a 5-pounder gun, which translates to what kind of armament is that? Like, let me just see the details real fast. 445-inch gun. No idea what's a 5-inch gun if you transform it over into the metric system. Either way, it's a big ass gun. It's probably a 130mm gun, I think, and it does 440 alpha. That's something that's really special. It's a tank that I've enjoyed quite a lot. It's actually a tank that I do run with quite a few premium consumables, and I also do occasionally dip into the APDS ammo type to be a bit more competitive. But I really like this tank. You know what? We're gonna give it a try. Gonna go in there. I'm gonna turn on the light because it's bloody dark in here, and it's almost 9 p.m. How can it still be so hot if it's 9 p.m.? Okay. So, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the Chimera? Great gun, very long reload time, which is definitely not a strength, but a weakness. Not very high pen, but decent armor, I think. At least the turret isn't very well armored, but the rest of the hull is quite nicely armored. So let's see what we do. I think we're gonna be rolling with the heavy tanks because this tank doesn't fare very well with vehicles that do have a rate of fire. But the medium tank line is really, really thin if we all go into the city, so this is a really awkward situation. This is always something you have to weigh. Like, I always complain when nobody helps the guys that are all by themselves. But if I don't go over there, I feel like I'm a bit of a cheat myself because I always preach one of the things and then I just ignore it myself completely. I think we have more than enough options to go into that area over there. What we can do, maybe, what can be our objective is we could actually go into the middle part and we could be a bit of a very annoying nuisance in the very middle of the map because I think in that bunker we should have quite a bit of protection, and if we have a G-SOR and a 122 TM we might have some support behind us. So we just spotted two guys, we spotted the Kunze-Panzer, and this might just be a absolute catastrophe, but you know what? Oh, let's go. I don't even care. I don't care. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna have a good time. And should have some protection. And now we have to be really careful with our HP because we have sacrificed so much HP to get in here. That 45 TP, I have no idea what he was, like what his plan was, but he just got ammo wrecked. Very sorry about that. Actually, I'm not, but you know, kind of hurts and it sucks, definitely. So let's see if we can bait a shot from the Indian. Nope, we can't do that. There's still the Kunze-Panzer over there. Maybe we can put some pressure on the Kunze-Panzer if we... Oh boy. This area is a bit tricky at the moment. What I really want to do is I want to shoot these guys over here, but I have to move, so I have to see what I can do. So I just took that time to move over here. I'm gonna repair my gun because having bad accuracy is real bad. Look at that. Look at that alpha damage. That alpha damage is beautiful, isn't it? Having like 456, but the reload time is also quite brutal. Yeah, I saw that they increased the pen on the T-34-3, but to be fair, I never really needed to have more pen on that thing because with the mobility that you have, you can just go around and get to certain places that you probably where you can put a lot of pressure on some guys. I have a bit of a problem right here with the Kunze-Panzer coming in here in just a second. And I need these guys to assist me. If the Kunze-Panzer is coming in here, I will need the assistance, and I need to spot him as soon as he tries to come into this little dip. Because I literally cannot do anything if he comes in here. And I really need the support. Okay, guys, this is the moment. Hit him with all you have. I'm dead. I'm literally dead. I can literally do nothing about this guy right now. Come on, hug him. Yeah, that was all we could do. I wanted maybe if I would have tracked him, but I think he would have just been able to repair the tracks and get out of that position. But I think our team should have the upper hand over here. And yeah, 2,500 damage is not a lot if you look at the mastery on the on that thing. The Chimera, I think if you want to have 3 marks of excellence on the Chimera, you need about 5,000 HP worth of damage to be able to, yeah, to compete. That is really crazy. I have no idea how they get those numbers, but 5,000 damage per game, you know, assisted and done by yourself, that is something that I don't think anyone is going to be able to do consistently in every single battle. But I really like the Chimera. I think it's a very special and very novice, not novice, but what do you call it? It's a very novel kind of tank. very special, because there are not a lot of tanks, or there weren't a lot of tanks like that back in the days. I think it's a bit sad that nowadays we have so many high alpha, you know, brawlers out there who do that much damage, and that's just something I think we have to get used to. But either way, that was the Chimera. That is a tank that was buffed. Let me check as well. I think there are some more tanks that have been buffed in recent times. Okay, patch 1.14. What did they improve? Okay, the Type 59 pattern has more engine power now. It has 620 horsepower instead of the 520 it had before. It has a better dispersion, so the dispersion has been decreased. Aim time has been decreased as well. The Amex CDC has gotten a lot of changes, a lot of soft what was it called, soft stats reworked. The Räumpanzer, the M48A2 Räumpanzer, which is a really weird looking M48 because it looks a little bit squished together. Wait, we can actually take a look at that. So this tank looks a bit squished together. The turret looks a bit small. If you compare it to any other M48, actually the turret is really small. So maybe if we get the tier 10 counterpart right next to it, it looks a bit small. But maybe it's just because of that big shovel up front. But I think the turret looks a bit small. Oh, the M46 patent Korea has actually been buffed. It has gotten a better reload time. The aim time has decreased as well. The T95E2, I don't own that tank. It also has been improved. The T34 has gotten quite a few changes. Actually, it is faster. It has better horsepower. The turret traverse speed is better. The dispersion is better. The hull traverse speed is better. So wow, the T34 looks a lot better. Like if we just look at the stats, looks quite nice. The KV5 has better shell penetration. Look at that. You know what? There's one more tank I want to play that is that has actually been buffed, and that is the pattern 59, the Type 59 pattern. Yeah, that was it. That is the Chinese tier 8 that they added sometime, I don't even know, a couple of years ago. I think a lot of people hated this thing. It definitely wasn't my favorite. We're just going to put it in primary division so we know to play it. And yeah, this tank, my god, this tank is... It's just, I don't even know. You know what? We have vertical stabilizer. Just put that in there and we can roll out. So it should be faster. The mobility on this tank never was the greatest, but if we do put like the equipment on it, we could make it faster. And you know what? Just for you guys, we can put that equipment on it. Wait, I don't have that. What? I don't have that equipment ready. So we're going to demount that real fast. And we're going to switch it to the Type 59 pattern because we want to have the ultimate kind of mobility. So what is the rate of fire? The rate of fire is pretty decent, so we're going to take out the gun rammer for that. And we're going to put in the turbocharger. Wait, are you telling me the turbocharger is not the same? That was also from a medium tank, right? From the CS. Oh no. Oh, I demounted the wrong thing. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. I just demounted the wrong thing. Either way, I don't really demount equipment a lot, so I still have enough demounting kits. But if I do that too often, I probably will lose quite a few demounting kits. Yeah, to be fair, I think that KV2 has become rather nasty. The KV2 with that high explosive change, I've almost have the feeling that the KV2 has become stronger with the high explosive change. I've seen people get blasted with that thing, where previously there would have been like maybe 400 damage, 350, but like I've seen so many ammo racks with the KV2. There must be something different about that tank nowadays. I have to be honest, like if artillery hits you in full speed when you are playing a light tank, that is a really, really hard skill. I'm not an artillery player per se. I'm not a professional, I'm no pro. I've played artillery quite a couple of times, but if somebody manages to hit you with you going full speed and zigzagging around, I have the feeling like I have to say props to the arty player. I think a lot of times it's probably maybe a combination of luck, but it's also that just that sense of like that I don't even know what you can call it, but it's that intuition, that artillery intuition. I think arty players that have only played artillery, they can pull off some sick shots that no other players can do, but you know, I just don't really I'm not really a big fan of artillery. It's not really my cup of tea, especially when I get hit by it. It's definitely not my cup of tea right then. Oh, we have a T-30 over there. Come on, take out the T-30. I know you all want to kill that T-30. Nobody likes a T-30 over there. Oof, oh, he's been focused to death. That's what happens when you have a bit of view range. You can just get 1,400 assistance damage on the T-30. Oh, we actually have the Liz over there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was an expensive shot. Oof. But we're spotting some stuff there. Spotting quite a lot of things. T-55 is returning back there. We have a bit of a issue with the Scorpion G. I didn't have the Scorpion G in my sights. Didn't expect the Scorpion G to be sitting back there, but that was maybe foolish of me to assume that there was no Scorpion G or tank destroyer sitting back there. Get a shot into the Skoda T50. And now we have to be very careful, because if we give them too much ground, they'll just move around the side over here. So I'll have to reposition, and I have to get out of this position because the charioteer is not going to be able to support me all by himself. Please don't have a high roll. Oh, he actually missed. Let's go. So with a little bit of help from my friends, we can probably do some more damage over here. If we have a Scorpion, we're gonna take that shot. Get some damage into him with high explosive shells. Oh, what is this? Oh no, what a bad shot. That was horrible. Oh, that was sad. That was sad. I know you want to kill him. I know you want to kill him. Come on out, Scorpion. I really don't want to catch a shell from the Scorpion G, so yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. He's gonna pop up from the other side. Be a little cheeky Scorpion. No way that didn't hit. Okay, that was maybe a bad shot. Yeah, that's fine. We will take some support. We'll take some support on the side. You can't always do everything by yourself. But so far, what do you guys think of patch 1.14? What do you guys think of Wargaming's effort in the last couple of months? I think, to be fair, like without the high explosive changes and without the crew 2.0 changes, I think Wargaming are on a decent, you know, route. Maybe not even too bad. Like they are fixing certain things. They worry about specific things as well. And I don't think that they only intend to do harm, but like with Crew 2.0, anything of that goodwill is just kind of being squashed completely, because like what does it bring you if you have a couple of small little details that are actually quite nice to have, and then like a whole bunch of garbage on top of that. Like it's still going to be a lot more garbage than nice things to have. So we have somebody sitting back there who's spotting us. It's probably the Kampfpanzer 07. I'm a bit scared with the amount of HP I have, so I don't want to be a bit too aggressive right now. I'm just hoping that the enemy team makes a couple of mistakes, because if they make some mistakes, I think we can probably work with that. I don't know how that didn't hit, but sometimes this game just doesn't want you to get some damage. Very awkward kind of game right now. Nobody really wants to move. The only ones with full HP are the tank destroyers that haven't moved at all in the game, so now maybe this is probably not the best part to move in. Oh boy, you've been wrecked, like, oh boy, I'm sorry, but that wasn't the smartest move. I know you meant well, but I'm sorry for you, Kanonjagdpanzer 105. Don't suicide now. We can still work with this. I'll just have to utilize my good view range. We'll just have to see what we can do with that. Somebody's spotting me, so he must be sitting somewhere in there. So right there he is. Okay, we have some. At least we have some view range on him. The issue that we're facing right now is that the middle part where we are at, they have quite a few tanks. They're just holding this position very, very aggressively. And if we can actually take this CS-52 Liz out of the equation, we can just go through the airfield. And I'm thinking about currently, I'm switching the flanks right now, and I'm gonna see if I can go to the position where we can get to the G-SOR and where we can actually get some flanking done. I might need some gold ammo to destroy the WZ, but we're gonna stick with AP for now. Yeah, because I think AP, you can work with AP quite well. I've noticed that like a lot of people, the first intuition they have when they see a tank that they just don't really want to face is to load premium shells. But I think that premium shells, there's always a time for premium shells. When you're playing this game at 3 a.m. in the morning and you're super tilted, that's when you can actually use premium shells, because you've had enough and you just want to kill everyone. So you know what, I'm gonna load. Oh, you know what? That is not a very good thing to happen right there. I'm not sure who just spotted me. It must have been a T-55. The T-55 is now making a play. Oh. We have to help this guy. Oh, look at that. He was just focused fired to death by 4 tanks or something like that. Okay, so we don't need the heat shells anymore because we're not made out of money. And now we're gonna go after PvP. Or the KPZ-07, wherever that might be. But I think our team played this quite smartly. They didn't push into it, maybe except for the Kanonjagdpanzer, but you know, everyone took their time. There was no real time pressure. Take your time when you're in a situation like this. Like, don't become, don't come under pressure, and you know, think before you do anything. I just want to see if I can actually get a pop shot. Yeah, there we go. Very nice support from artillery right there. Queued up the target very nicely. we get some additional damage, we take out the vehicle, and now it's just cleaning up the remaining 2 enemy vehicles in the game. Yeah, good game, can't really complain. Got some assistance damage in there as well. The tank feels faster, obviously with the obviously with the equipment that we have put on it, it definitely feels faster. But I think it also, yeah, it just feels like it's ready to go, ready to rumble. Nice vehicle, definitely. Let me read the comments real fast. The thing is, like, Crew 2.0 is definitely a break it or make it kind of deal. I think there are several things with Crew 2.0 that make sense. Like, how about we have so many crews? Like, look at my barracks. I have a shit ton of crew members. Like, look at that. I have 532 crew members in 904 bunks, or I have 904 bunks available. And the thing is, I think they need to make it a bit more accessible and just make people able to, you know, have one crew for like an entire line of tanks. How about for one entire nation? You have one crew that is completely for all the heavy tanks. You have one crew that is basically for all the tank destroyers. You have one crew that is for all the artillery pieces and one crew for all the heavy tanks. But you don't add any of those new pay-to-win features. You just give us like the option to have the crews on several tanks. You give us the option where everyone has brothers in arms, everyone has Sixth Sense, everyone has an equal playing field. And then you just keep that stuff that we have. You can give it, you can make it, you can remodel it. You can make that crazy nice looking spider web of skills. But just only let the skills in there that we currently have. We don't want anything else. Because Wargaming obviously knows that when they roll that out, there are going to be people running around in EBRs with 69% camouflage rating on the move. 69%. There are going to be people running around in their STB-1s with a rate of fire of, I don't know, it's going to be like 4.1 seconds per shot. That's crazy. Think about that. And that's just like, give us the premium tanks. Yes, I don't care about that anymore. Give us the skins. Give us all the cosmetics. But don't give us that system. Because if they add that system into the game, it's going to be the end for so many players. You're gonna have a mass exodus. At least that's what I'm thinking. People will first check out what is happening. People will, you know, try out a couple of things. They'll try out the game. They'll see. Maybe they'll have some fun. But they're going to run into one of those players that has everything unlocked and is going to wreck your face and give you, like, tear you a new one like no one ever has done before in this game. And you're not going to be able to compete unless you pay some real money. And I really am not looking forward to that. Okay. So you know what? We're going to move on. We're going to be playing the VZ 44-1 because obviously we're playing the we have to play the USSR tanks, not the USSR tanks, but the Czechoslovakian tanks if they have been added already. And I'm currently thinking about if I should actually unlock the new engine or if I should unlock the tracks, because it gives me almost 50-ton weight load limit. Oh, actually, it's only 2 tons more, or about 3 tons more. So I think I'm either going to go for the engine, because it gives me 100 horsepower more. That is actually quite a lot. I think I can still work with the gun. If I use premium shells in the worst case scenario, I think it can work with the gun. But I still need to get some wins in this tank, so I can get the 3 times XP added on as well. Yeah, I think what's really important right now is that we don't spend excessively on this game. I think anyone who spends money on World of Tanks now, that's going to be a very big risk that it's not going to be paying out for yourself in the end. And that's really important because it could be that this game isn't going to be around for maybe 3 years or 2 years, and you don't want to invest into a game that might be dying. Hey Rasmus, have a nice evening, have fun. have some luck, good teams. It's been fun. See you around, and yeah, enjoy the new Czechoslovakian heavy tank line if you start grinding that. Don't unlock the tracks first. I think the tracks are not worth it. I think, at least, I don't think the tracks are going to be worth it at the beginning. So tier 8 match, a couple of tier 7s in there. I think we can work with that. This tank has 5 degrees of gun depression. Like, don't get too excited. 5 degrees of gun depression on this tank is horrible indeed. So I'm not going to be going anywhere where there are hills or mountains, and I'm just going to go to the heavy tank route. See if I can maybe get some pop shots in there and be a meat shield for some tier 8 heavy tanks so we can win the game. The thing is, Wargaming is always banking on the goodwill of the players. Wargaming is always going to hope that the ones that have been around for so long, that they will be around forever, and that they can just squeeze them out, these huge money whales, and, you know, benefit from that. But I think it could really be the end it all for a lot of players, even for a lot of players that have been playing this game for a long time. I, for myself, I have noticed that, oh, sorry about that, bad driving on my part. I, for myself, have noticed that, yeah, like, I'm not paying any more, I'm not spending any more money on World of Tanks, and I'm not really interested in buying new premium tanks until I know for certain where this game is going in the next couple of years. I'm still having a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but I think that they're in very, very deep water right now, and they're in very dangerous terrain. And hopefully they can figure it out. But I think experience has taught us a lot of things, and one of those things is definitely that Wargaming usually does not get things turned around. If they have their head set on something, they're very stubborn. They can be much more stubborn than us players, and yeah, it's not going to end well if they force it and it's not going to work out. People will stop playing. It's as simple as that. And I mean, I can't blame them. I'm not going to be playing either if it's that bad. They have added this new system, the mechanics, like the field upgrades. I haven't touched it, but I think that's one of those things where they also want to, you know, hook players on it, and they just want to see how far they can go and how much, you know, how far they can tread before the paying player base says that's too much. And yeah, I don't know the field works. I have to figure them out. I'll look at the field works in just a second. They look to be quite complex, but yeah, it's just something, you know, doesn't need it. Do we need those things, or do we need some serious changes in this game? Like I can't do anything in this matchup right now. I'm at tier 7, and I just have to wait for these tier 8s to duel it out and one side to push, and either me or them to die. And I don't want to be the one putting myself into like the danger and dying out there immediately, but I will sacrifice myself for my tier 8s because they are more important than I am for winning the game. And that's just like, that's, you know, when you play tier 7 or tier 8, it's just one of those things. I don't have the pen. I have 145 millimeters of pen. Why do I go in front of that thing? I can't do anything to him. He has the upgraded gun at least, so he can do something. Oh, I think he's on the reload. Yeah, he's on the reload, I think. Oh, yeah, that 1-to-1. He wants a piece of it. Don't do it, man. Oh no. That's not very good. But yeah, this is peak World of Tanks in the year 2021. We're going up against these premium tier 8s that you can't touch as a tier 7 stock tank. So we just have to wait it out, or maybe make a Aggressive push. Oh, he just left him alone. Ah, no, actually, there's still like 3 more tanks right there. With a AFK KV3, he actually didn't load into the game at all. Oh boy. Yeah, if I stay here, I'm just gonna be artillery fodder. Yeah, very, very awkward right now. Nice, right there. I wanted to catch that shot for him because if I didn't, he was definitely going to die, and I knew it was important to get him out of the game right there. So everything worked out. We didn't take any damage right there. That was really important. And maybe, you know what? Maybe we can make a play. Oh, sorry. I don't want to block you. I don't want to block you. That T-56 is just in such an awkward position where we can't really touch him at all. We just have to see what we can do right now. Our 1-2-1 might just be able to put one into him. Oh, right there. The VZ just ends up scrap. 1-2-1 puts one into the tier 8. You can do it. Ah, the gun is in his way. Oh no, the gun is in his way. Oh. I wish I could help him with repairing. Nice, there we go. The thing is, I really don't want to get hit by that gun, because that gun with the 460 alpha can literally just one-shot me. So this is a very awkward kind of scenario where we just have to wait for something to happen. Unless we would just want to die and end it prematurely. Indeed, it's very awkward. Yeah, I mean, artillery can do that all day long. I'm not gonna be pushing him. Oh no. Just give him space. We're gonna let Artie handle it. You know what? In the meantime, I can probably... Oh, no. Don't let him get a shot. No, why are you shooting that guy? You're supposed to shoot the Skoda. We literally cannot pen this guy. At least I can't do anything. What is the pen on the heat? 200 millimeters. Okay, I can do something. But artillery, take the Skoda. Take the Skoda. Thank you. There we go. Now we have a breach. Now we can do something. Nice. We bounced one shot. Pen him. Finally we can do something, because these bloody premium tanks are just that bloody annoying and you literally cannot touch them. Ah, that's because that gun barrel is right in the way. You can't aim downwards. There's the cupola. There we go. Sorry. Don't want to be a bothersome tier 7 tank, but I need to get some damage, or else I will stay stuck forever, and that's something I do not wish to be. Theoretically, the IS-6B is capable of one-shotting me. Theoretically speaking, but practically it's gonna bounce. I'm gonna call it right now. The IS-6B is going to bounce me if he shoots me. He's down this river. He just ran. Oh no. Nope, he did not bounce me. Did I not hit him? I'm dead. That was a really, really disappointing game, a really boring game as well. But hey, I think we're gonna win this because we kept it up. We didn't leave them any room, and then we let artillery work for us. The very worst in World of Tanks, that was definitely the game where that applied to. Yeah, I think we would all agree that it would be nice if wargaming could focus on making the game better without having some kind of alternative afterthought of, you know what, if we add a little bit of this, we can just make these guys just a little bit more pissed and make them pay just a little bit more money. But that's just how wargaming works. Like, this is a business, and they're a disgusting but a very, very successful business. I'm not sure, but hopefully they hear all the negative responses to Crew 2.0. Yeah, probably. I think right now is definitely a good time to pick a new hobby because you know, you might never know what might happen with all the tanks, and a new hobby is probably going to be a lot cheaper. It doesn't matter what you do, but a new hobby is going to be cheaper on basically every single thing. Whatever you do, a new hobby is going to be cheaper. I feel like playing a light tank right now, and oh, you know what? Before we play light tank, I want to check out the field upgrades. So we're gonna pick a tier 10 tank because that gives us most options that we have. And I'm just gonna pick the mouse because the mouse is a legendary tech. And we're gonna take a look at the field upgrades. I haven't really checked out the field upgrades yet, so I don't know anything about them. I just know that you can make several things happen, and you can make like certain combinations to fit your playstyle. Okay, so we have no level on the mouse, and we have to spend 28,000 experience to be able to get a level, which is tier 1. Is that XP that we have on the vehicle, or is that XP that we have converted? Because I want to check real fast if I have a tier 10 with experience points, so we don't. You know what? The WZ, the tier 9, actually is probably the WZ 111 1.4 is probably going to be a vehicle that we can take a look at because it still has a bit of experience, but okay, so we're going to use that. Okay, so it's experience that you have on the vehicle. So right now I have the option of getting a loadout to increase something. So I can, for like, okay, what? This is stage 1. What does stage 1 do? An opportunity to equip an additional sets of shells and consumables. Increase the level. I don't have the experience to do that, so we're just gonna go and take a look at the second sets. So you can actually run with a second loadout when we're in the game, or what? Or do you have to decide what kind of loadout you want to play? Let me read that real fast. Okay, so I just have the opportunity to change. So maybe today I feel like I want to be complete, you know, non-premium player, so I use only standard stuff. But maybe tomorrow, okay, can we switch over to, okay. Maybe tomorrow I want to play like this. 40 shells of heat shells only, and the consumables are only premium as well, obviously, because we have the big banks to spend. Okay, so yeah, the first stage is absolutely, useless. Not very important at all. So with the second stage, that's where the fun begins, at least I've heard. So we can have a better suspension, which gives us more hit points, I think. Wait, can we disable that? So we're gonna disable all of this with us? What? That makes no sense. So this is the hit points that we have currently on the vehicle, right? No, this is the HP that we have, 1,850. So if we have the added bonus of stage 2, we get a little bit more HP, about 20 HP more. That's 1% or whatever. And then we can, on stage 4, get even more. On stage 5, we're already at 1,900 HP. And on stage 7, we can do quite a few things. So we can increase the mobility, we can increase the aim time. Oh my god, like that is pretty nasty. And every stage is gonna cost you more. Wow, what a shitty system. So basically the ones that have all the free experience, such as me, are the ones that have like kept all the experience on their tier 10 vehicles. They're just gonna have tanks like the mouse right now that is going to be able to be fully upgraded. Like we're just gonna fully upgrade that. We don't even care anymore. Fully upgraded. The mouse is basically, it gets an additional 150 HP, or probably we can increase that even more. I don't even know. And it can get like a aim time of 1.88. It can increase the DPM a little bit as well. But we have some negative points as well. So it takes some and it gives some. So okay, this is a system where you can individually craft your tank how you want it to be played. Wow, it cost me 224,000 XP. Okay, so I haven't really paid a lot of attention to the system, but I think I can see where the problem lies. So yeah, if you do convert experience with a little bit of help of gold, you're going to be able to just buy yourself a vehicle that is the ultimate kind of tank for your playstyle, and the other ones need to grind it, and it's a pay to win because it gives you an edge in certain areas. I don't really like that system, but I guess we'll have to figure it out over time. So maybe it's a bit premature to already sign it off. I think the Manticore, I still have to equip that, so I'm gonna skip that. We're going to be playing a tier 8 premium light tank, and this is going to be the last game for today, and we're gonna end the stream on this one because it's 9:30. I'm a bit tired. I have been playing World of Tanks now for 2.5 hours, and it's been quite fun. But at the same time, I've been talking for 2.5 hours, and that gets a bit tiresome after a while because, god damn, my throat feels really dry. It's extremely hot here, and I really need to drink something. So I'm gonna end this with a little gameplay in a light tank. I'm just not sure which light tank I want to play. I'm just gonna see what kind of light tanks I have at tier 8. They're all pretty decent options in my opinion, and I think you can work with a lot of them. I think I'm gonna do it in the T92 because the T92 is just one of those tanks that I play really well. I don't play very well, but I really enjoy a lot. It's a nice little tank. You can have a very nice time with that T92. Okay, let's see. We are on a map that is notoriously bad for spotting. This is not a very good map for spotting, but maybe we can do something. I think a lot of my tanks are geared towards passive scouting, and that passive scouting is not always a thing that you can do very well on certain maps, especially this one. I would have actually gone for the hill, but I don't feel like camping the hill all game, so I think I'm gonna do it a bit differently this time. And we're gonna go for this little bush over here. I just bounced a Rheinmetall Borsig. I don't know what's worse, but that is a that just hurt my pride. Definitely that hurt my pride. Because I don't bounce RHM. That's not very nice. Now we can't spot them right there. But what we can do is we can get into this bush. We can have a little bit of fun with those guys over there. So let's see if we can move back a little bit so that the bush becomes not transparent. And now we can have a bit of fun. RNG is going to be a bit of a doozy on that one, but his head is sticking out, and the Lance in C doesn't have any armor, so if I do hit, it's going to be mostly a pen, I think. But yeah, I think he's going to be rethinking his ideas. Yeah, he's going to move back a little bit. Oh, he's going to come forward again. Just give it, like if every second shot hits, that's good enough for me. Oh, that guy's having a bad time. Shouldn't have climbed there, or should have climbed earlier. One of those things. Oh, there he is. Unfortunate right there. Oh, we have some more tanks that we can shoot at. God damn, where are these shots going? That shovel actually adds like 50 millimeters of armor, which is like ridiculous if you think about it. But either way, we're gonna be maybe able to do anything. I didn't expect to be this aggressive or to be able to have this many firing opportunities, but I'm about to run out of ammo if it goes on like this. And this T-34 is just gonna have a really bad time. Poor lad. There is the Räumpanzer. Oh, that would have been nice snipe. His turret is sideways, so we can actually hit him right there. There's another tank. Okay, that's the heavy. Can we pen the heavy? Yeah, we can. Oh god. The thing is, the T-92 is quite accurate for a light tank. I think it's quite accurate. Can do quite a bit of damage with it as well. And we actually have to support there because these guys are going to have quite a bit of an issue if nobody is going to take out these lads in there. Oh, I might just be the last defense for the middle. If he dies, we have no eyes on the middle, so I actually have to start scouting. Okay, there's the T-92.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Scratch out their eyes, and we're gonna have a bit of a better time. I didn't expect to be able to do this much damage. 1,847 so far. What we're going to be doing real fast is we are going to do some spotting right here. So we spotted a WZ-120. Oh no, that wasn't pen. No pen. But we only have 8 shots remaining, so can we spot the Buras? I don't want to get spotted over here. Get away from the edge. I think it's a very dangerous play that we are doing right now. I don't think the Burask is... Oh, he's still there. He's right there. Oh boy. I'm right in front of them. They haven't spotted me yet. It's because I have a really, really crazy crew. But if I do fire, I'm going to be so dead. Oh no. Oh no. I have to get out of here because E75 is gonna see me any second now. Okay, lads. If you get that E75 TS, we can work. If you don't get the E75 TS, we can't work. Let me just get this over here. So they start firing that position where I was just now. We have to take out the E75. It's time to load some heat. Time to load some heat. It's time to spot these guys as well. Oh, God. I have the feeling I have to drop down here. I have to go over there and I have to spot for my tank destroyers in the back. Take some steps away from there. Okay, that T-26 is going to be quite sneaky. It's actually quite smart what he's doing right there. Our tank destroyers are going to be spotted any second now. So we're going to lose quite a bit of firepower over there on that side. Nice. They get him right there. I spot the Burask. The Burask is really, really out in the open. We need to kill that Burask. That Burask is a very, very dangerous player. Very dangerous vehicle to have this late in the game now. Oh, the E75. The E75 is right there. Gonna reposition so I'm behind the bush. So I can put some pressure on the E75. Because I can literally pen his lower plate with the heat shells. So let me spot for you guys. I got the E75. It's all good. Let me handle the E75. He just pushes him. He just doesn't care. The object 274A does not care. This is the time for me to make the epic push where I actually go over on top of the hill, kill the T-92. Oh fuck. No, 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 no. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. No. It's not that epic. Oh, we're gonna drop. We're gonna drop. Unlucky that we dropped. That T-92 was just waiting for us to make that play, but I think we can still work this. Nothing is lost yet. We still have a couple of aces up our sleeve. What's important is that we spot this TNH. Come on, spot that TNH. Let's get moving again. Hey, epic plays are always the best plays. If something awesome happens and you don't sell it as an epic play, well, you have missed an opportunity. So every opportunity might be an epic play. You gotta have a bit of faith in your abilities. Oh no. Oh no, this is not looking good. I think we have to be a bit more defensive now, I think. The problem is, like, I wanted to take the hill, but that T-92 was all aware, and I didn't expect the TNH to be still right in that little town. If that TNH would have been a bit further back, I would have been able to have free roam on the hill, then have free vision on all of the map. But right now, it's a bit awkward. We have to play time. We still have 4 minutes, so a lot of things can happen in 4 minutes. We have an artillery piece. I'm the eyes of the team, and oh god, things are not looking good right now. So what I need to do is I need to somehow be able to bind down these guys. Get this ISU killed.
Enemy armor is hit.
Get this Burask out of the game as well. And now
Enemy
this is
armor is
really
damaged.
important that I kill this Burask.
Enemy
He's
armor
as
is
good as
hit.
dead. Oh no.
Enemy armor destroyed.
That's good though. We can work with that. We still have T-92 to worry about. And we're out of standard ammo. I don't even know who is managing this account, but really, like, who puts this much premium ammo on in a tier 8 light tank? What a waste. I don't even know. When did I put this much ammo, premium ammo in this? Like, I definitely had more standard ammo than premium ammo, but still, that is a lot. That's by far too much. Oh my god. This T-92 is really all over me. This is a battle between two T-92. Oh, he actually moved down. That's why I was spotted when I was firing, because that T-92 moved down. But did you see? That was an epic play. That was an epic play. We took out the Burask. We took on the ISU-152. We had a bit of patience. We managed to lure them into that trap. They didn't know what was hitting them. We used the full bush tactic, and the T-92 almost had us, but you know, there can only be one T-92 in this lobby that goes out successfully with a win, and that's going to be us. So I'm going to play the safe route now. I'm going to go up the hill. I think the WZ is going to be somewhere back there. I don't think he's at the same spot. They're going to try to be defensive now, and they're going to try to scratch me out. So if they can kill me, they can scratch out the eyes of the operation. Look at that. And we got him. He's dead.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Yeah, he was trying to get his bush under control, and didn't work out for him. So let's move in. I'm gonna go spot the... Never mind, I need to spot him. He's right there. Somebody spotted him for me. And now we have free roam with that WZ. And we get a very low roll, unfortunately. I could have been a bit more active during some stages of the game, but I think I did value my HP just the right amount. I didn't try to do crazy stuff, and it was just important to always have eyes at that middle part and to control that middle part, because if we would have lost control about that part right here, it would have been very easy to take us out. But I still think it was a good game. Decent game, definitely made some mistakes, but had a lot of fun. I'm gonna load some more APCR on the vehicle because I was running out of APCR, and that E75 actually were able to take on. Didn't expect that we were able to take on this E75 TS, so that's pretty cool. It's neat. That was a win. Can we add some more 3 times to that? Oh, gathering information. There we go. So we add some 3 times experience on that. We add some 3 times experience on that. Because it's the last game, let's see if we have another win somewhere where we can add some 3 times experience. Let's do that on that as well, because why not get some additional experience? yeah, the T-92, lovely little light tank, really, really nice. I think the enemy's T-92, considering staying, like, when he was staying on the hill, he did really, really well as well. And he was more of an active attacking T-92, where he was trying to do more damage. Obviously, I mean, when we were in that position, we weren't spotting as much, but we were able to put some damage into them. So what I'm really interested in is how much I need for my third mark of excellence. So I'm actually 82.99%, so I'm below this 2 marks of excellence. Haven't played this tank in a while, so I have to get back into it. But 60% win rate isn't too bad in this vehicle. Quite a cool tank, really one of my favorite light tanks at tier 8. And yeah, I think that concludes this live stream. I hope you guys had fun. If anyone has missed it or anyone is just tuning in right now, you can still watch the VOD or the video afterwards, and maybe you'll catch me the next time around. The LT432 and the HWK30. The HWK30, I like the RU251 more than the HWK30, but this thing, like these things are nasty. 102 millimeters of pen, really, 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 really ugly. Yeah, but really cool tank. Like the mobility is mad. What I've noticed is I slide around with the HWK30. I slide around with that thing. Like sometimes I just slide from one rock onto the other because I'm so fast, and I flipped myself a couple of times with this one. The LT432, that is a tank that you can just work with this one. I haven't played a lot of them, only 29 games, and I've lost quite a few. Yeah, it's still getting used to this one. This is not my tank per se, I have to be honest. Not really my vehicle. But yeah, both definitely good options. But either way, I hope you guys had a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next